It's Craig.
It's
Craig.
Craig.
Hello,
Craig.
Craig. I love Craig.
Criggity Craig. All right. Well, welcome back to holy crap. You know what the first thing we should talk about actually before this?
What is the first thing we should talk about actually before this?
Rebranding.
Rebranding the podcast is what we
Uh-oh.
should talk about. I think it would be very wise for us to change the name from Rules, Jewels, and D&D Schools to Rules, Jewels, and Tabletop Schools. What do you got? What do you think, Isaac? Me and Joe already talked about this.
If that's what you want to do.
I only say it to jump out ahead of that. Us using a copyrighted name in our title, eh?
I don't think it matters. But that's fine.
It could potentially matter at some
point. It
point.
could potentially matter at some point. But
I think it might be a
also-
wise move just to avoid the headache.
Yeah.
but
When I
also
ju-
that's fewer people will find it. So
Well, I'll just tag
give and
D&D
take.
in the description, dude.
Okay.
I'll be okay.
go to town.
It'll all
Doesn't
be
bother me
okay.
any.
All right. Well, we are going to be talking about new 1 D&D playtest material for the druid and the
Paladin.
it's paladin,
Dan.
the Paladin, Paladin Dan, Paladin Dan, and the druid.
Which one's
like
your
a-
favorite of the two?
50s
Well-
guy named Dan.
Named
He's your
Dan.
friend.
That's my pal Dan.
That's my pally Dan.
That's my pal
Hey,
Dan.
Pally.
Hey, Pally. Yeah.
That's big fat pally.
Big fat Pally. Yeah, boy. All right. Let's hit up this druid change. My favorite is druid. I don't even care what they do with the paladin because druids are better than paladins. Suck it.
What? No.
There's your first hot take of the episode.
Cleric's just a watered down paladin.
Well, we've heard that one before already. That's like a lukewarm take.
Yeah,
at this
Cleric
point.
isn't even in this. I don't know why you're bringing her into that. I don't know why I assigned her to.
Listen, druids are just better. Druids are more fun to play. They're more interesting.
All right, so druids. We starting in?
Yeah, let's do it. Druids.
So yeah, they changed up a little bit. At first level, you now get a thing called Channel Nature. Tapping into a nature power, so you can give various magical effects. You start with one such effect, a wild shape, which is described below. So I think wild shape was that was level 2 before, or was that level 1?
I think they're just. Oh no! Wild shape you got at level 1 before. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
I think what they're doing
No,
with this
wild
channel-
shape is level 2. I was right.
Oh, okay.
Your
Keep
call.
going.
So now you get wild shape at level 1. However, it's changed. So let's talk about the changes to wild shape first, which is down on this list a little
Yep.
bit.
It's right
okay,
here. Right?
so it used to be you could change into any beast of whatever CR is
that you could that
fits
you've
with your
seen,
class.
that you've
Yeah,
seen.
that you've seen. Which
Yeah.
I mean, your DM can be like, you have or haven't seen this before. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be in your campaign. It could have been in your backstory, whatever. Or if it's just a fairly common animal in your anyway.
Yeah, like a wolf.
Any animal that is of a CR that is in relation to your level, so it scales.
Yeah.
Now you get to turn into one of 3 things.
I know the land,
an animal of the land, an animal
Yeah.
of the sea, or an animal of the sky, and you can't do the sea and sky are later. Just like you can't, like currently you can't do ones with a swimming speed until you're a certain level. You can't do ones with flying speed until you're a certain level. So same kind of thing there. But what it does is just homogenize all beasts.
Yeah, so there's like this. I think what they're trying to do is to keep it from being like there's only 2 optimal choices for you to make. But at the same time, this kind of balancing just sucks the fun out of it.
Yes, when everything is the same, then nothing is fun.
Then nothing
Now-
is fun.
If you're going for strictly combat, then yeah,
It balances it more.
it balances it more. But like, if you want to like be like an insect and climb up on the walls and stuff. You can't do it. Like,
It doesn't say that it's the same thing every time, or can you choose the descriptor?
you can make it look like whatever you want, but your stat
You-
block is that stat block. And
So you can make
armor
it look
class
like
of-
an insect or whatever, right?
it has to be small, medium, or large. You can't do tiny.
Okay.
And your armor class is 10 plus your wisdom modifier, no matter what.
Yeah.
Your hit points are your own hit points.
That's extra lame. Okay.
Yes.
That's like
you
one of the
have-
big draws.
Yes. Your speed is 40 feet, and you have a climb speed of 40 feet at 5th
Okay.
level.
Yeah.
So before 5th level, you don't have a climb speed.
So if you go down in this form, you don't revert back. You just go down.
That is my understanding of it. Yes.
That's a big no.
That's a big nerf.
That is big bad. Maybe
Your strength and dex. Your strength and dex equal your wisdom score. Your con, int, wisdom, and charisma you just keep those scores.
This is just like the de-interestifying of druids. Let's make this less interesting, more designed by committee. I get the change for channel nature. Instead of just having wild shape charge, you have channel nature. That way your druids that don't want a wild shape could ostensibly do something else. Like that druid that I'm playing, it just uses wild magic charges for a different reason. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
I like the idea of like
the
having
name
a
change.
wild magic charge where you don't have to use it. You can do different things with it. I like that. That's
channel nature. Yeah, that's fine. That's a fine change. Absolutely stripping wild shape like this, I'm not in favor of that.
Yeah.
So you do get advantage on perception checks in the animal of land form, and you get just a normal attack, a 1d8 plus your wisdom modifier, bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing, depending on whatever you describe it as.
Yeah.
And at 5th level and higher, you get 2 strikes. So you get multi-attack in beast form once you're past 5th level. And then
that's pretty nice.
Animal of the Sea, you get a swim speed. Essentially, you get 20 foot 20 foot walk speed and a swim speed of 40. Everything else is pretty much the same. You're amphibious, so you can breathe air and water, which of course.
Yeah.
And then Animal of the Sky, same deal. 20 foot walk speed, 40 foot fly speed, and you get flyby, so you don't provoke opportunity attacks when you fly out of an enemy's reach. So that's the buff you get with that.
Yeah, but being able to get all the individual things that the animals do. Oh, I need to smell something, I'm going to be a wolf. Oh, I need to see something, I can be an eagle. That kind of difference made it interesting and cool to play that character. I get why they want to balance it, because Circle in the Moon Druid definitely is like incredible up until level 5, and then he's garbage, and then he's good again like at level 10.
And then he's God tier at level 20.
Yeah, and then he's God tier at level 20. So there's definitely a roller coaster. Maybe we need to shave the peaks and troughs a little bit and bring it a little closer, pull it down a little closer to center. But I think this is a flatlining this is too much flatlining of everything. This is rounding the edges off too much.
Yeah, I really dislike Wild Shape now. I think it's super lame.
Yeah, super lame.
You can, I think you can become a tiny creature at some point. I think I saw that in there. Tiny at 11th level, I think. Let me check. Yeah, at 11th level, you gain the ability to become a tiny creature when you transform into a wild shape form.
At 11th level. Damn. Okay. Yeah, that's rough.
So no, being is there a crack under the door? Yes, I'll turn into a spider. None of that until you're 11th level.
Stay out of here. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
not the biggest fan of this.
I hate it.
I hate it. Yeah,
really bad. This is the first one where I've gone, okay, they went back.
It feels like I feel like they don't need to work on balancing.
Yeah,
the balancing is done pretty well by both the community as a whole and your table.
Yes.
I don't feel like taking the fun out of something in the name of balance is fine if you're making a video game and something is being exploited, right? But when you're sitting around a table playing a tabletop game, like those are the cool parts, and your DM has the ability, as if they're clever enough, to just make something that counters whatever the thing is that you're doing that's overpowered.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I feel like they don't need to worry about that. And
Yeah, they need
especially
to
this
chill.
degree.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. This definitely, it feels like an overstep. Like it's not nearly, it's way too much.
Yeah, it's no longer fun. It doesn't feel like, oh, I'm becoming a wolf and I'm going to feel like a wolf feels. It's like I'm becoming animal of the land. It's going
I
to
am
look
becoming
wolf.
an animal. I need hey DM, I need an animal that doesn't fly or swim. You think you can just like come up with one? Because it really doesn't matter.
It's exactly. It feels it takes me way out of any kind of role play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that sucks. Moving
Let's
on.
Let's get past this atrocity.
You learn druidic, which the same thing there. Spell casting.
They did change druidic in a little way, actually, that I kind of like.
Oh yeah, you can. You and others know this language automatically. Spot such a message. Others spot the message's presence with a successful DC 15 investigation check, but can't decipher it without magic. I feel like that is probably a homebrew rule at lots of tables, right?
Maybe, but it's cool that it's in writing.
It hasn't come up in our game yet, but I have a chart.
It's because like the special languages very rarely come up in any campaign I've ever been in.
It's true, but in our campaign, I have a chart to where if a language comes up that no one knows, you guys can make a check, and if you do well enough, you can tell the root, like whether it's based in Dwarvish or based in Primordial or based in Elvish. And then there are certain languages that branch off of that. That's within the stuff. That's within the rules of the books. So I was like, I'll just do that. So I have a chart ready for if that comes up, but it hasn't come up. So I feel like this is probably just something that that's already been being done. But I like it, obviously, because I thought it up.
Yeah. I think it's a great idea. From me, the guy who created it. It's sick. I love it. Biggest brain in the room right now.
I arrived at
copied me.
It's completely on my own, so I already like it.
You liar. No, just
so yeah, that's druidic. Spellcasting is the same as regular. Nature's Aid. You learn 2 more ways to channel your channel nature. Healing Blossoms and Wild Companion. Healing Blossoms, you can channel it and it will appear as blooming flowers. Choose a point within 30 feet of yourself, and a spectral flower and spectral flowers appear for a moment in a 10-foot radius sphere centered on that point. I mean, it would have to be I guess they say sphere because it could be on walls, but the way they say it makes it sound like it's just all of a sudden flowers.
A sphere, boom, everywhere, just like a circular, a perfect sphere of flowers.
Ball of flowers.
Yeah, everybody, we need to feel good.
Feel good.
Anyway, then roll a number of d4s equal to your wisdom modifier, minimum of 1, and add the dice together. The total is the number of hit points you can distribute to creatures within that sphere. You decide the number of hit points that are restored to each of those creatures, deducting from the healing total. So it's a little AoE heal.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
that you can use instead of wild shape, which cool. I like the diversity. I like the ability to do something different,
something else. Yeah,
because there are lots of days that go by when you have a resource like wild shape that just doesn't get used, and this way you can use that resource. And the other thing, Wild Companion, you can summon a nature spirit that assumes an animal form to aid you. As a magic action, you can expend a use of your channel nature and cast Find Familiar spell without material components. When you cast a spell in this way, the familiar is fey, and it disappears when you finish a long rest. So a little day-long Find Familiar.
Am I missing something? Magic action, that's just a regular action. I read this earlier when I was trying to read the Druid.
They have rebranded actions. So this is a magic action. Like casting a spell is a magic action. Using something like channel nature is a magic action, as opposed to, I don't remember what the other ones are called.
This feels like a weirdly
attack action or something.
This feels like we just talked about how this is like the wild shape is rounding the edges off of this, whereas like categorizing different actions as magic actions and melee actions seems like a step in the overcomplication direction. Why not just have?
It could be really cool if like you could get to the point where you could have a melee action and a magic action.
Yeah, but you could just have a point where you just have 2 regular actions that you could take as magic or melee.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just for clarification that they're gonna maybe do something with later, such as
Maybe something more interesting is coming.
So that they don't have to add as much text to other spells, such as haste, right?
Yeah, I
So whenever
suppose.
they say the extra action can only be used for blah 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 blah, they can just say the extra action can only be used as a melee action. And then you look
Yeah.
and see what melee action is.
I mean, but that's not even a lot less words. That's a bad argument for me.
Well, because if they do that in multiple spells and they can just throw the melee action into multiple spells and have melee action somewhere else where you can look, I think that's what they're doing. But
anyways, we'll see. That's not part of this.
So you can have a day long find familiar. Yeah. And I feel like we need to talk about find familiar because that has changed a bit.
Did they change find familiar?
Yes, a little bit. So find familiar, you gain the service of an otherworldly spirit, which manifests as a little animal in an unoccupied space, blah, blah, blah. You can choose celestial, fey, or fiend. Also choose an environment, air, land, or water. The familiar resembles a tiny animal of your choice, such as owl, cat, or frog, that is native to the chosen environment. Both choices, creature type and environment, determine certain traits in the stat block. So it's, again, they've taken away, like you can't say, I want a cat, and you go and find a cat stat block. You pick 2 things, and then it changes the static stat block. So, combat. The familiar is an ally to you and your companions in combat. It shares your initiative count, but takes its turn immediately after yours. It obeys your commands, no action required by you. But the familiar can't attack unless you use your reaction on its turn to command it to do so. If you don't use any commands, the familiar takes the dodge action and uses its move to avoid danger.
Okay.
The familiar disappears if it drops to 0 hit points. That's the same. If you dismiss it as a bonus action or if you die. I don't think dismissing was let me double check because I don't think that it specified
whether you could dismiss it
in the current one. Find familiar.
Let me find this familiar for you.
Yeah, okay. As an action, you can temporarily dismiss the familiar to a pocket dimension. So it was an action before.
And it's temporary because there's the regular find familiar. It's a pretty permanent thing. It just stays around forever. Yeah.
Which I guess this is too, except for this druid, this channel ability makes it a day long thing. But regular find familiar, I think, is still, it's still, you decide whether, if you cast a spell again, you decide whether you summon the familiar that disappeared or a different one. But I don't think that it's.
I think Healing Blossoms is really cool. I think this is kind of weak.
Yeah. I mean, it is what I don't know. I don't know. Let's finish let me finish reading through the new find familiar real quick.
Okay.
So you can use it bonus action to dismiss it. Or if you die, it goes away.
Yeah.
When it disappears, it leaves behind anything it was wearing or carrying. If you cast a spell again, then you can pick whatever. As a magic action, you can see what your familiar sees and hear what it hears until the end of your next turn. So before, that was just almost like a channeled thing. You could just action go into it and you could just watch forever. It didn't it wasn't like at the end of your turn it stops or anything, which I guess you could just keep doing every turn, but it's weird. When you use, you can upcast it now, I guess, using a second level or higher. Use the higher level wherever the spell's level appears in the stat block. Okay, so that's how it scales now. So the armor class is going to be 10 plus 2 if it's land.
Yeah.
Plus 1 per spell level. So if you cast it at level 1 and it's a land, it's going to have an AC of 13.
Okay.
The hit points are 2 plus 2 per spell level. So 2 at level 1, that's 2 plus 2. So
that's 4 HP. Wow.
which
Even at level
most
1.
Find Familiars have like 1 HP anyway. So that's a bit of a buff. And you can upcast it now. If you cast it at 5th level, that would be 12 hit points.
Yeah.
It can be amphibious if you make it water. Extra dimensional escape. When the familiar would drop to 0, instead it drops to 1 and vanishes into an extra dimensional plane, leaving behind anything it was blah, 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 blah. It remains there for an hour or until you summon it as a magic action, and then it reappears in your space. So you can do that. When it gets hit to 0 points, it can once per long rest be 1, but vanishes into the thing where you can just call it back with an action.
Oh, that's so nice. That's so nice.
Yeah, that's kind of nice.
But at the same time, like, just go summon a new one.
Yeah. I also like,
unless you're playing the campaign where you have no money and you don't ever find any ingredients.
Well, I mean, if that's
Look
true,
what
then your
happened
DM
to-
doesn't want you to have it. Then your DM's going to just kick it over and over again. So
yeah. And also that doesn't really matter for the wild companion thing, since it only lasts for an hour anyways.
Well, lasts for the day until you finish a long rest.
Oh, okay.
I just remember Rook, you know.
Yeah, I had to but I kept finding it, right? I'd be like, "Hey, Michael, I need this stuff for the spell." And he's like, "Okay," and I'd be like, "I'm looking for the stuff," and eventually I'd find it.
Yeah, you find it somewhere every time, dude.
Yeah, it's amazing how much incense is just scattered throughout the world.
Thank you for coming to Hastings. What are you looking for? And you're like, I'm really looking for some incense. We got you fucking covered, brother.
Damn.
That's the only place I ever remember that consistently sold incense in the back in the CD section.
So yeah, there's some slight differences to the familiar now. Basically, there's no more pick a stat block. Again, it's just like the wild shape. You're taking away pick a stat block and just replacing it with here's what the stats are going to be. So again,
kind of lame. Yep, lamifying that. Yep, I get it.
So that's the third thing you can do with your channel nature at 2nd level. 3rd level, you get a subclass just like regular.
Yep.
Actually, no, I don't think that it's true. Yeah, because it used to be 2nd level you would get a subclass for druid.
So they're bringing it in line with everything else.
Yes, which I am going to be really upset with if they change it for sorcerer, and possibly I don't really like it for warlock either.
They probably are going to try to. This whole one D&D thing is them just taking a big like waffle iron to the entire
big
bell
homogenized
curve,
stick
to the curve, and just like let's crush this all towards the center a little bit, my guys. Everyone gets their subclass at 3rd level. Everything's got the edges rounded off of it. No fun allowed anywhere, anytime.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. I really don't want them to do that for things like sorcerer and warlock, because like that's kind of how those classes work. But anyway, 4th level you get a feat. 5th level,
I can really tell that this is your first rule change you've ever had to deal with. I mean,
I've played video games with the rules change and I don't like them, but it's just like, why?
All the rule changes I've seen, they were different enough to make sense. I wasn't around for 3, so I didn't see the 3 to 3.5. I just played 3.5. But like 3.5 to 4 was ridiculous, and 4 to 5 was also a pretty huge departure.
Sure.
This feels like let's sand this down a little bit, my guys.
This is I think them trying to accommodate that it's going to be backwards compatible with 5e. But
just like Man Up, say it's not. Let's do something cool.
So far, this will be the only one where you're going, I'll use the old one.
Yeah.
I'll be a 5e, not a 1 D&D druid.
Yeah. It'd be better.
Animal of land form, that's what you get from your wild shape. That's where you get climb speed and multi-attack is at 5th level. That's what you get at 5th level now.
Okay. Yeah. That makes sense.
To
just like a warrior. Yep. Okay.
So if you want to be a melee caster druid, then 5th level is where you get stronger.
They're changing it, right? Fourth level's a feat no matter what now, right?
So far. We haven't seen all the classes yet.
All the classes that they've shown. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
6th class is a subclass feature. 7th level, you get aquatic form from your wild shape. 8th level is a feat. 9th level is aerial form. So I think those are pretty close to in line. I don't remember the exacts, but I think they're pretty close to in line.
Pretty close. Yeah. Moon. Yeah. Okay.
10th is a subclass feature. 11th is when you become a tiny creature.
11th level, and you
a
get to do
long
tiny.
way.
That's a long
And
time, dude.
if I hit 11 level, I'm like, what can I do?
And you can't stay in that form for more
I
than
can be tiny now. Great.
yeah. And you can't even be it for more than 10 minutes.
Yeah. You can only do so no longer than 10 minutes, and the damage you deal in that form is halved. I would feel like most tiny things just use a stat block. It's fine.
Use a stat block. It's totally okay.
No, you're gonna have your regular health. You're an ant. You're a little ant, and people are like,
"You're the strongest
ant I've ever seen."
Oh my god,
dude! You just like crawl right up their beehole and start punching them from inside the colon, and they'll never like. Even though you do half damage, you're just taking them out from the inside.
I just thought about that because it doesn't use a stat block. It uses your hit points.
Yeah, and
like,
it does. It's still doing decent damage.
Takes away so many fun things. Like if you become a spider and you walk into a thing and someone's like, "Hey, a spider," and squishes it, all of a sudden there's a person standing there.
Yeah.
And it's like, "Uh-oh, what are you gonna do now?" This way, it's like, "I'm gonna smash the spider. Smash." I'm gonna keep smashing the spider. Oh my god!
What's up with this spider? Why'd the spider take so much damage? You're just like a normal
spider.
You're just a guy in a bar, and you're like,
my hand.
Yeah, just a normal guy at the bar.
Like
whack.
You're like on a web, and someone hits you, and you don't move. They just stop.
You catch their hand with two of your little claws, and they can't pull it away.
And you're like, what the?
Slap me. Cast a spell from your tiny spider claws. Shoot them with like something.
I got you.
Yeah, so that's weird. 12th level, you get a feat. 13th level, you can now rapidly shift between a wild shape form and your normal form. If you're in a wild shape form, you can switch to your normal form as a bonus action, and then you can switch back into the wild shape form within the next minute as a bonus action. Neither switch expends a use of wild shape. Okay,
that's cool.
That's
okay,
really
I
cool
like
in
that.
the sense that you can pop out, cast a spell, and pop back in.
That's cool. I like that change.
Wicked. I really like that. That's a really good one. That almost makes up for them.
It's incredibly strong.
Down.
It's very strong because right now it's like you have to make the decision. Do I just stay where I am?
More interesting.
I think
I think that the decision is more interesting the way it is now than this, but
yeah, that's
this makes it certainly easier. Yeah,
I feel like the big reason why they changed it to where you don't take the health, you keep your health and your stats, probably because like druids are unkillable once they get high enough level.
You could fix that.
I can just keep turning into freaking
I think the course of a minute
over and over and over, and then
I think that there's a change to that you could make. That would make that make sense. That would make that work. That isn't so drastic because this kind of takes away. If you're a Circle of the Moon druid now, when you get Circle of the Moon, you can kind of be a tank for the group, turn into a bear, eat some damage. You know what I mean? But this takes away that. Like, what's the point of changing into a big bear if you still only have 15 HP?
Yeah, I don't like it at all. It's
I don't
just
like it at all. Being able to swap out, shoot a spell, and go back, cool, but not worth that.
Yeah, there's no more like I'm going to be the tank because I'm a druid and I'm going to be a bear. It's just like, why don't you just not be a bear?
They are really, really like settling these classes into roles.
Yeah.
Now, if it was to the point where you only get to keep your amount of health, but if you lose that health, you just pop back into yourself and it's back up to full, I'd be okay with that.
Maybe. I don't know. I think that this needs a lot of work.
At least you still have the second pool of HP.
I think.
Yeah, but you can't do that with this level 13 thing because then it's just it's the same thing. It's just redoing it every time. So yeah, it's somewhat cool, but I still am like the way that it is now.
Yep. I just like some changes are fine, but it is fine the way it is.
14th level, another subclass feature. 15th level, Wild Resurgence. When you use your wild shape, primal magic irradiates from you, allowing you to use your healing blossoms as part of the same use of channel nature. That's
fun. That's cool. That. Yeah, that's cool. I like that.
Your 15th level, it's not that big of a heal, so it's not a broken thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's fine. I like that. 16th level's a feat. 17th level beast spells, you can now cast spells while in any wild shape form. While in such a form, you can perform somatic and verbal components, and you don't need to provide free material components. If a spell consumes the material components, you can't cast that spell while in wild shape form.
Okay.
That's something that you already get as a current druid. I don't know if it's at that same level.
That's fine though. That's
spells
cool.
is at 18 right now, and this
Yeah,
is
so
at
it's
17. So
down.
you get a level earlier. 18th level Archdruid. This is the feature that, well, the thing called Archdruid currently is what you get at level 20. Now you get it at 18, and now it's whenever you roll initiative, you regain one use of your channel nature. In addition, the primal magic that you wield causes you to age more slowly. For every 10 years that pass, your body ages only 1 year. So that's a enormous nerf because at level 20, Archdruid currently gives you unlimited wild shape whenever you want.
Yeah,
That's
this
what
is a
makes
massive nerf.
Moon Druid busted, is Archdruid right now.
Once again, I'll say this again. This game does not need to be balanced for level 20. Level 20 is like bonkers insano town, and I like it that way.
So I do not like the change to Archdruid. I don't like, I mean, I don't want that to be at 8th. I don't want the current Archdruid to be at 18th level.
Yeah, no. I feel like
we're moving all this stuff to epic boons and taking the level 20 stuff and moving it to 18. I don't know how you fix that.
Yeah, you don't. You give epic boons either need to become less generic or they need to include, every one of them needs to include something for the class that they are part of. Druid epic boon,
new
warrior
Archdruid,
epic boon.
pretty worthless.
Yep. Get to live longer. Fantastic. Most campaigns aren't going on long enough for that to even matter.
Man, they really were like druids, huh? Fuck 'em.
Fuck 'em. They want druid to be a support, so they're bringing it in line with being a support class.
Anyway, 19th level feat and then 20th level epic boon.
Yeah, those boons are epic.
There's going to be a boon that gives you infinite wild shapes.
My grade for the new druid is D.
D, yeah,
D4,
I'd say that.
Don't like
Moon.
it.
It's under 50%.
F for fuck that.
Damn.
Fair.
Damn.
Yeah,
but if you get Circle of the Moon down here, the druid subclass, we still got to read that.
Yep. So the subclass example they give is Circle of the Moon, which is currently the busted one. That's the one that's really good early, and then it falls off mid, and then it's extremely strong late.
Yeah.
So 3rd level, you get combat, wild shape. You've learned blah blah blah.
Okay, this might change my opinion. Okay, never mind. Keep going.
You've learned magical techniques that allow you to transform quickly and to channel magical protection while transformed, giving you these benefits. While you're in wild shape form, you can cast any spell you currently have prepared from the Abjuration School, provided the spell doesn't require material components.
Okay.
Quick attack. You can use unarmed attack as a bonus action, and swift transformation. You can use your wild shape as a bonus action or magic action, but no more than once per turn. So it gives you some flexibility, which I do like.
Yeah.
With the either a magic action or a bonus action.
This is fine. I think that this kind of makes the base druid. This subclass is okay. If I'm just reading this, I need to read the rest of it. We need to get through the rest of it. But that's all right.
Yeah. Here, I wanna go in real quick because this is at third.
Yeah,
third
this
level?
is
Yeah,
third level. Yeah.
So let's look at
current wild shape.
Abjuration spells for druid.
Oh yeah.
Because it seems to be making a big deal about this, and I want to know like
how many abjuration spells are there for druids? Is that what you're talking?
Yes, there's resistance, the only cantrip it's abjuration for druids.
Okay.
1st level spells, absorb elements and snare. 2nd level spells, lesser restoration, pass without trace, protection from poison. So far, pass without trace is the only thing that I'm like, ooh, yeah, that would be fun. But also, like, you can just cast it and then go into your shape, and then it's fine. 3rd level, dispel magic, protection from what is that? protection. I don't know what it is because it's cut off.
What level? Protection from energy, level 3.
Yeah, protection from energy.
Yeah.
So you can make yourself. It's basically like it's similar to other.
These are not very good. These are
Freedom
all
of movement is
yeah.
4th level. Freedom of movement, stone skin. 5th level, anti-life shell. Freedom of the winds, greater restoration, planar binding. 6th level, druid grove and primordial ward. That's it. That's like
That's
the
it.
whole list of druid spells that are abjuration right there.
Yep.
So I don't feel like
Yeah,
I was
you know,
I was
it's not
expecting
that
to see
good.
maybe bark skin, but bark skin isn't even in there.
Yeah. These aren't, I mean, it's not great. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't like it.
You get that bonus unarmed strike. So, but I guess a bear,
Sure.
like some of them would have gotten that anyways from their stat block.
It's not great. Yeah, so the unarmed strike is a bonus action. Sure. It feels like it's just trying to make druids fighters, and I don't want druids to be fighters. I want them to be druids.
But they're not even good at that. Yeah, you get 2 attacks, but you still have your base health.
Yeah.
So this isn't even fixing the main thing that I had a problem with. But anyway, let's go on to the next
What else did
thing.
you get? At 6th level, you get elemental wild shape. Forms power the elemental planes. Whenever you assume a wild shape form, choose one of the following damage types: acid, cold, fire, lightning, or thunder. While in that form, you have resistance to the chosen damage type, and the form's bestial strike can deal damage of that type rather than its normal type, with you choosing between types when you hit. This form also displays signs of the chosen damage type, so you can make it look cool. Whatever.
You choose details that happen.
I feel like you could do
gotcha.
that anyway.
Yep, that's just fluff. You don't need like. Well, I guess for the
fluff.
for the right DM, that's perfect.
Maybe you do. I guess.
Yeah.
Sure. Whatever. You get resistance to one of a damage type that's.
I'm neither here nor there. Neither here nor there on this. This is like a worse version of being able to turn into an elemental, right? Because it looks like the next thing, elemental strike.
Yeah. So 10th level, you get elemental strike. When you deal damage with your bestial strike, the target takes an additional 1d6 damage of the type you chose from elemental wild shape, and then it increases to 2d6 when you hit 17th level. Okay, I guess. Still not as cool as a current moon druid. And then at 14th level, 1,000 forms, you have learned the lunar magic to alter your physical form. You can always have alter self spell prepared, and you can cast it without expending a spell slot. It also doesn't count against the number of spells you have prepared. That's already in Moon Druid. That's the same thing.
Yep. Great.
So all they did was nerf wild shape.
Yeah, they're just like, you know,
they just took a hammer to wild shape.
The big calling card of Druid. Yeah, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, stay out of here. I like that they changed the name. They're calling it, they've got the channel nature instead of just wild shape. That's a cool change. Everything else, Healing Blossom's cool. Wild Companion, worthless. Everything else, kind of neutral or bad.
Yeah,
I don't think this was good overall. Yeah, overall,
like it at all.
Bad changes.
Okay, moving on. We don't like Druid. It sucks now.
Yeah,
Druid sucks now.
Really bad.
I hope this changes.
It's worse than Cleric now.
Guys, this is a playtest. This is a playtest.
I played it in my mind.
I played it in my mind. Yeah. I played it in my mind and I got beat. The old Druid came in and kicked my ass.
It was a fire elemental.
It was a fire elemental, and he went, "Aha! All you have is do fire damage and be resistant. I have those things too, and I'm cooler than you."
Aha!
And if you ever get me too low, I can just pop out and pop back in and fall heal.
That maybe needed to be balanced, but everything else was all right.
It was level 20 too, so I mean, okay.
Yeah,
anyway,
all right. Anyways, Paladin. Your Pally Dan.
All right. Let's go through the levels. First level, you get Lay on Hands, which is I believe is the same.
Yeah.
5 times, pool of hit points 5 times your level. You can touch a creature and pour some hit points into them. Or use 5 hit points to remove the poison condition from the creature, which I believe, let me double check, but I think that currently you can get rid of a disease with that.
Oh man.
Looking Lay on Hands. Cure 1 point. Yeah. So currently you can use it to get rid of a disease or neutralize a poison. They're taking away that they're like, we like diseases. There's no way Lay on Hands would get rid of a disease.
Yeah.
And now you can't do that anymore.
Great.
Man, they're just nerfing it. Well, these two, they were like, we got some cool stuff in the other ones, but
we're bringing them down.
Spellcasting is the same. It's just sort of limited. It's like a half caster, I believe, is what they're considered.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, you can prepare two. Oh, you get cantrips now as a paladin. You get
Okay.
2 cantrips.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Which is a thing that you can currently just take as your fighting style. To get when you hit level 2, you can pick a fighting style that gives you 2 cleric cantrips. Now they're just giving it to you for free. Okay, whatever.
Cool.
I don't think
getting some cantrips is
know.
nice. It's not busted.
It is nice, but it's like I don't know if I like I kind of like the idea of paladins not having cantrips. Whatever, it's fine. If that's what you really wanted to do, you could do it.
All about turning it into a big old homogenous stew.
Yeah, you can. When you finish a long rest, you can swap out your spells. That's similar to what they're doing to other things. I don't think you can do that as a paladin. I don't remember, but that's what there seems to be going with for all classes.
Paladin is the 5e class I know the least about, so this one's going to be a lot of shooting in the dark.
Well, I can just double check. Where is spellcasting? Preparing casting spells. You can change your list of prepared spells after a long rest. Okay, so that's the same. You get the same spell slots pretty much. Divine Smite. Okay, Divine Smite has changed a little bit. Immediately after you hit a target with an attack roll using a weapon or unarmed strike, you can expend 1 spell slot to deal radiant damage to the target. The damage is 2d8 for the first level, plus a d8 for each level higher. You can use Divine Smite no more than once during a turn, so that's a change.
Yeah.
And you can't use it on the same turn that you cast a spell. That sucks.
That does kind of suck. Yeah.
That sucks pretty hard.
Yep.
So before there was no like limit. You could just keep divine smiting someone for as many attacks as you had on one turn. That's what makes Paladin strong is divine smite.
Yeah. But that's against the turning the entire game into a bowl of oatmeal.
And now you can't do it whenever you use a spell. So before, like if you wanted to max damage on a spell, you would cast a smite spell, which is a thing. You cast smite on your weapon, hit them with that, and then you can expend a divine smite charge and do a ton of damage in one hit. Can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Second level is fighting style. That's the same as currently, but now the fighting styles are like feats, so you can just choose which one you want. So basically the same. Third level, you get Channel Divinity and a subclass. You start with your Channel Divinity now has Divine Sense, which you used to get at 1, or you currently, I keep saying used to, but you currently get at 1. This is going to change it to 3. And then you'll get other things you can use Channel Divinity for later. Among those, you have from this class. Okay. You can use it twice. I think you only get Channel Divinity once per long rest currently, but it's not the same as, but it's separated from.
You get 1 Channel Divinity back when you short rest and all when the long rest. Is that what you're talking about? Or are we talking about something else? Am I lost?
I'm talking about the current Paladin rules.
Oh, current and Paladin rules. Okay.
You get 1 Channel Divinity per long rest.
Yep.
But it's separate from Divine Sense.
Okay.
Divine Sense has 2 charges, but it's all on its own.
All on its own. So they've just combined them, and you get them back easier.
You get now you get 1 on a short rest, and you get them all on a long rest.
Yeah. Okay.
Divine Sense is, I think, the same. Bonus action, you can open your awareness, find Celestial Fiend or Undead. I guess now it's for the next 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And currently it is just a flash. Like you can look. It's during the action. Within 60 feet.
Or until you have the incapacitated condition.
Yeah, I mean that's a weird way to put it.
To write that.
I would just have it. Yeah, whatever. They just didn't want it to be a concentration spell. So anyway, you get your subclass, which I don't know. Let me scroll down here. Subclass still give you your other.
We'll get to the subclass.
Divinity. It does currently. Currently, the subclass gives you your second or your only Channel Divinity, right?
Yeah, because Channel Divinity up here just gives you you get them at the same time though. It just gets you Divine Sense, and you get them back a little faster than you used to, and that's it. But we'll get to the subclass.
Okay.
So
what's next? Fourth level?
4th level's a feat.
Yep.
Fifth level's an extra attack. Okay.
That's all the same. Faithful Steed. You get Find Steed spell now.
Ooh.
This feels weird.
I get to be on a horse.
It's the World of Warcraft paladin.
Weird. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
This
it's
feels
the World
super
of Warcraft
weird
paladin.
because there are
if the next thing was
where there aren't mounts, right? Like you can't find one.
Yeah.
But now suddenly a paladin just like, I just get it at 5th level.
I got a steed, dude. Let's get a wagon.
Guess what, guys? You need a horse? Got one.
I got it.
I'm your man.
I'm your man.
He just whistles really loud. All right, give it a minute.
I feel
there he is.
You're like Geralt in the Witcher video game. Every time you whistle, your horse is just waiting behind waiting behind a tree 5 feet from you at all times. He just walks into the frame no matter which way you're aiming.
We have a paladin that never uses this in Tales of Fire. We just always need to add a horse somewhere in the map.
I mean, I guess Find Steed is already a spell, but maybe this is why they're doing it, because no one takes it.
No one takes Find Steed.
So they're like, we're giving it to you for free.
Somebody who writes these things like, I wrote Find Steed. I will find a way for it to be part of the main game.
Well, somebody will want to take a mounted combat feat, and that'd be so cool.
Yeah, nobody taking that mounted combat feat.
It's strange.
It's just so there's so many times where this would just be so incredibly useless, and to get it at 5th level, like that sucks. Like if you're on a boat, you're not gonna be like, "Where's my valiant steed?"
Steed. But you hate
to ride it around
on the pirates without my horse.
You hate boats, so you won't have to worry about that, Joe. You'll never have to worry about getting your steed on a boat.
Yeah.
You'll never have to ride a boat ever again. But you also get the extra attack. What else do you get now? What do you get at now at 5th level?
At 5th level now.
Probably.
Yeah, just an extra attack. This is just a bonus if you don't get anything else.
It is, but it's just weird.
It's not great.
It could be cool.
Yeah,
but it's just very strange. It feels shoehorned, is what it is.
Yeah.
It feels like we need to put Find Steed in there somewhere.
Feels like one of the rules writers at Wizards of the Coast absolutely loves being able to call a steed in a dungeon in World of Warcraft, and he's like, I gotta work this into one D&D, dude. The first subclass I'm writing, it's about being able to throw your shield and bounce it off people like Captain America.
So yeah, you get Find Steed, which you can cast as an action. Normally it's a 10-minute spell.
Yeah.
So you can cast it as an action and have your steed. Whatever. I think it's super weird, but that's what it is. 6th level, you get a subclass feature. 7th level, Aura of Protection, which I believe is the same as it is currently. Yeah. You and your allies get your charisma modifier bonus to saving throws as long as they're within 10 feet.
Easy enough.
And
okay.
Total cover. And they specify that you can't stack them.
Great.
In the text now.
Yep.
8th level's a feat. 9th level, Abjure Foes.
Gotta abjure them foes.
You can expend 1 use of your Channel Divinity to overwhelm foes with Divine Awe.
Okay.
As you present your holy symbol or weapon.
Awesome, dude. Yeah. You're like, check this out, boys. Watch out. And all the enemies are like, awesome, dude.
Oh,
I love that.
Whoa, dude.
I can't believe it's not bottom.
You can target a number of creatures equal to your charisma modifier that you can see within 60 feet. Each target must make a wisdom save. On a failed save, the target has the dazed and frightened conditions for 1 minute or until it takes any damage.
Any damage? Woof, okay.
On a successful save, the target has the dazed condition for 1 minute or until it takes any damage. Let's look, because I believe that's new.
That's new.
Dazed condition.
Dazed and confused.
While dazed, you experience the following effect. Limited activity. You can move or take 1 action on your turn, not both. You also can't take a bonus action or a reaction. So there you go.
They're going to change Stunning Strike on the monks to dazed. It's going to be a dazing strike.
They're definitely, that's what it feels like it's coming, and I don't like it.
I'm going to daze this guy. Whack.
DMs are like,
think they
no
already
more
did.
with my NPCs.
BC.
Be locked down. No more.
That's always anytime there's a monk in the campaign, the further you go, the more monsters are immune to the stunned condition.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to get more immune. I can't be stunned, dude.
Or you get a strength build monk.
All
There
right.
you go. You can be dazed and frightened, or just dazed,
Or just dazed. Wow.
which is actually pretty strong.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's like you can select up to
If you got a good charisma
real strong.
modifier.
That is like essentially casting slow without any DC. Like you just fail.
You gotta have a decent charisma modifier to get a lot of value out of this.
Not really. On a successful save, the target has the dazed condition for 1 minute or until it takes any damage.
I'm hitting at least 2. I gotta have at least 2 in my charisma modifier.
Yeah, you're gonna probably have at least 4. So
It's
hitting
charisma?
4 things
Okay.
with charisma it's strength and charisma for a paladin.
Okay, gotcha.
And you want to have a high charisma because that is what feeds your aura of protection.
Nice.
So hitting 4 guys with the dazed condition with no ability to save,
That's pretty good.
that's pretty strong.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Now,
good.
the caveat is that if they take damage, it's not there anymore. But like you can just those 3, leave them alone. We're gonna kill this guy.
We'll see you guys in a minute.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys in 1 minute. Yeah.
Yeah. You guys can't move or you can't take an action. So we're just gonna step 5 feet away from you while we kill your friend. And then if you take a step towards us, you can't hit us.
Yeah.
And you also don't get any reactions. So I'm just gonna step away 5 feet next turn too.
Yeah. Easy.
Yeah.
Okay.
This
That's
feels
good.
real strong.
Yep.
10th level, you get a subclass feature. 11th level, you get Radiant Strikes, which I believe is the same as current. Carries supernatural. When you hit with an enemy, when you hit a target with an attack roll using a simple or martial weapon, the target takes an extra 1d8 radiant damage. I believe that's the same as it is currently.
Okay.
12th level, you get Feet. 13th level, you get Aura of Courage. You and your allies are immune to frightened condition while in your aura. I believe that is also the same as current.
Okay.
Easy 14th
enough.
is
Easy enough.
subclass.
Yeah.
15th is Restoring Touch. When you use Lay on Hands on a creature, you can also remove 1 or more of the following conditions from the creature: blinded, charmed, dazed, deafened, frightened, paralyzed, or stunned. You must expend 5 hit points from the healing pool of Lay on Hands for each of these conditions you remove. Those points don't also restore hit points.
So you could get rid of multiple if you had enough points.
Yeah. So if you had 20 points, you could get rid of 4 things.
Okay. Fantastic. All right. That's pretty good. That's all right. I like that. Not that comes up that often. Charmed would have been nice.
It's nice that you can get rid of multiple on the same turn if you spend more points.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. I think it's later. There's something about some wording in there that I had an issue with, but I don't remember. I think we'll get to it later. 16th levels of Feet. 17th levels or expansion. They're 30 feet instead of 10. I think that's the same.
Yep.
18th levels Divine Conduit. So this was the 20th level before. Whenever you roll initiative, you regain 1 use of your channel divinity now, is what that is.
Okay.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, if you hadn't used it though, that's a waste.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Best be using it.
19th level Feet, 20th is Epic Boon.
Right.
Okay.
Shall we hit this subclass?
Yeah, let's do it. So you get 3rd level, you get your Oath. They have Oath of Devotion for the one that they gave us. You get your Oath spells, you get some prepared spells. You can cast 1 or more of your prepared spells from the list without expending a spell slot, and you must finish a long rest before you use this benefit again. Okay. 1 or more prepared spells from this feature without expending a spell slot. Does that mean you can cast each one once?
Sorry.
How does that read to you?
3rd level Oath spells.
So the free casting part.
Yeah, you cast 1 of your prepared spells from this feature without expending a spell slot, and you must finish a long rest before you use this benefit again.
Oh, okay. I read it wrong. You can cast 1 of your prepared spells from this feature, so you just get an extra spell slot.
You just get an extra spell slot.
One of these already one of the spells on the list.
I read that and I was like, "Where's the confusion?"
Yeah,
I read it wrong. Okay.
I understood how you read it, and I was like, That's dang. That's overpowered as crap.
I was reading when you were reading that. I gotta admit, I was reading the breaking your oath section to see if anything had changed in there.
So yeah, that's weird. It's an extra spell slot of these spells. Okay,
Yeah.
sure. Third level sacred weapon. As a bonus action, you can expend one use of your channel divinity to imbue one simple or martial weapon that you are holding with positive energy for 1 minute. You add your charisma modifier to attack rolls you make with that weapon. So that's kind of cool, I guess.
Good, yeah.
If you're having trouble hitting something, but
Not insane
sure,
or anything.
it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
Each time you hit with it, you cause it to deal damage. It's normal damage type or radiant damage.
Yeah.
Okay. It also emits a bright light in a 20-foot radius and dim light and a 20 feet beyond that. You can end this effect as a bonus action. Otherwise, it does last the minute. Or until you're incapacitated.
Gotcha.
6th level, Smite of Protection. Your Divine Smite now radiates protective energy that allows you and your allies to stay in the fight. Whenever you use your Divine Smite, choose yourself or an ally within 30 feet of yourself. The chosen creature gains temporary hit points equal to 1d8 plus the level of the spell slot used for the Divine Smite.
That's good.
I don't know how I feel about more things using temporary hit points.
They got to get them temp hit points in, dude. Like, what else uses it? Not a ton. I don't feel like.
I know, but I feel like you just really want.
Artificer has it, and
I feel like you just want one source of those because they don't stack. So I feel like
stack.
Yeah,
anytime you see that,
they need to change that. I think.
Are they changing whether they stack or not in 1D&D? Have they said? I don't remember seeing that. As long as you don't get the incapacitated condition, you'll be all right, dude. I'm loving every time you read
incapacitated condition.
Every time you read incapacitated condition, I'm like, okay, I just laughed to myself and I'm like, all right, yeah, it's a condition, I suppose. What condition are you in? I'm feeling like I'm almost incapacitated.
10th level.
I'm dying. I might be incapacitated soon.
10th level, you get Aura of Devotion. You and your allies are immune to the Charmed condition while in your Aura of Protection. Great.
Nice.
If the Charmed ally enters the Aura, the same as it is already, I think. The condition is suppressed while the ally is there. 14th level, Holy Nimbus. Batman.
Holy Nimbus.
As a bonus action, you can imbue your Aura of Protection with Holy Power. The Aura gains the following benefits for 1 minute or until you end them as a bonus action, and or potentially until you have the incapacitated condition.
Yeah, until you get the incapacitated condition for sure.
Radiant damage. Whenever an enemy starts its turn in the aura, that creature takes radiant damage equal to your proficiency bonus plus your charisma modifier. Also, the aura is filled with sunlight.
Bright light, that is sunlight.
Sunlight.
You're a vampire's worst nightmare, my dude.
Yep. Once you use that feature, you can't use it again until you finish a long rest unless you expend a spell slot of at least 4th level when you use it again.
Okay, I'm gonna play this one, and we're gonna play what's that vampire themed book that they just re-released, the Strahd. I'll take out Strahd in an instant, dude.
Aha!
Your mic change?
Time to poo poo.
No.
Yeah. Suddenly you're lo-fi.
Am I?
Yep.
Oh well, sick. I love that.
It's fucking Craig's fault.
There you go. Is that change back?
Yeah, that's
better.
Back.
Okay.
So that's the oath of whatever. Oath of devotion.
Oath of devotion. All right, what's next?
I think there are some new feats in here, but I don't remember which ones are new.
You have parts of a feat. Did that change at all? Description if it contains prerequisite, a benefit, repeatable. If you can only take once, unless it contains blah blah blah. Okay, fantastic. Blah blah blah.
Just the ones listed are new.
Yeah, so all this. Okay.
Fate, spell recall, and true sight. Whenever the fate one is, there's a bunch of prerequisites, but the deal is, you increase your intelligence, wisdom, or charisma score by 1 to a maximum of 30.
Okay.
So when another creature within 60 feet of you fails a d20 test, you can roll 2d4 and apply the total rolled as a bonus or penalty to the d20 roll. You can use this benefit no more than once per turn. You have 8 uses of this.
This is an epic boon feat. This is an epic feat. Yeah, okay.
Yep. Whenever you finish a long rest, you gain 2d4 expended uses. This is like I think it's the divine sorcerer. It's a very similar feeling thing,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
but
I know
you
what
get
you're talking
8
about.
uses of it. I don't know how they came up with that number. That is a weird number to come up with.
They rolled a d20, dude.
Yeah, they're like, let's see.
I don't know. 8. All right.
8. All right. Yeah. Okay. We'll see how that works out. More or less, should be
So
fine.
that's Epic Boon of Fate. Sure, that's fine, I guess.
Yeah.
Epic Boon of Spell Recall. It's increase your int, Wiz, or Charisma by 1 up to a maximum of 30.
Okay.
Which, to note, most things are up to a maximum of 20, so you can go to 21.
Wow. The free casting
Yeah.
could potentially be ridiculous.
So free casting, whenever you cast a spell with a spell slot of first, second, third, or fourth, roll a d4. If the number you roll equals the slot's level, the slot isn't expended. That sounds fun.
That sounds fun. I like that. That's cool.
But also at level 20, I
How
feel
many
like you would
fourth
have
level
enough of
spells
those
are-
spell slots
Yeah,
that it
you're
doesn't
right.
matter.
Yeah, you're right.
That sounds like
So-
it would be fun for like a
lower-
subclass.
Yeah, that could be a subclass thing. Yeah, for sure. That could be a whole subclass built around that.
Yeah.
All right.
An Epic Boon of True Sight is same thing. Increase one of those stats by
Yep,
1 up to
tells it
30, and you
Wisdom
have True
Charisma.
Sight within 60 feet. Ta-da!
That's good. Yeah, fantastic. True Sight's really good.
So the other changes were to smite spells. So I feel like I should go over how they work currently first. So let me find a description for one of those real quick.
Look at all these different smite spells.
Yeah, there's quite a few different smite spells. So we'll do branding smite, searing smite. We'll do searing smite. Currently, it's a bonus action, and the next time you hit a creature with your melee weapon, it does the extra damage. They're changing it to be a bonus action which you take immediately after hitting a creature with a weapon or unarmed strike. So now it's a reactionary thing as opposed to you cast it and then hit. Now it's just you hit and they're treating it like Divine Smite, basically.
Gotcha.
Where you can decide afterwards. But you can't stack this with Divine Smite anymore.
Which makes it a little more lame.
Yeah, because okay, you have let's look up here's Blinding Smite they have on here.
Yeah.
A 3rd level spell. Do they even have any other smite spells? Okay, let's use the 1st level. Searing Smite. They have it on here. Bonus action. You take immediately after hitting a target with a weapon or unarmed strike.
Yep.
After you hit the target, your strike flares with white hot intensity, and the target takes an extra 1d6 fire damage and ignites with magical fire.
Yep.
So you can do, and at the start of each of their turns, they make a con save, and they might burn for 1d6 extra each turn.
Yeah.
You can use that 1st level spell slot to deal 1d6 and maybe some extra on your next turns, or you can use that 1st level spell slot to deal just a flat 2d8.
Yeah.
On that hit.
Yep.
I feel like smite spells
anymore,
are just going to go away. No one's going to use those.
Yeah, I can see that. But you only get so many of the other ones. So these are like the backups, right?
Yep.
So many of the other what's?
Of the channel divinity. Or whatever it's called.
Divine Smite, I don't think is within Channel Divinity. That's just, they kept it the same. You just burn a spell slot.
Oh, okay. Well then, yeah. Why are these even
It is
here?
a 1-to-1 comparison. Yeah.
Yeah. I must have missed something. Yeah. That's super dumb. Why would anybody use this? What about Glimmering Smite? Is it amazing? Is this amazing?
There's just different like little flare things that can happen. If it has when you hit it with when you hit your target with it, if it has the invisible condition, that condition ends on it.
Ooh, okay. All those invisible things I fight, you never know. What about Thunderous Smite?
I don't know. It feels weird though. It's like Thunderous Smite is as you hit it.
It just makes noise.
Additionally, if the target is a creature, it must make a strength saving throw or be pushed 10 feet away. So 2d6 thunder damage and be pushed away. Or
and it's loud.
2d8 and not.
Yeah, or just 2d8 and it's not loud. Yeah.
And doesn't.
It doesn't like
away.
making some noise though, you know?
Yeah. Totally.
Let's make some noise.
We're in this fight. There's a lot of things that those lizard men are around.
I want them to know I'm here, dude.
Wrathful Smite is an extra 1d6 psychic damage, and they must succeed or be frightened. Like, I just don't. I just want her to leave those alone. Like,
Yeah, I know, but you can't. Like, it's what we've been saying since the beginning of this episode. It's about like rounding everything off. You know what I mean? You can't have any
Yeah.
class that's noticeably stronger than any of the other classes. So stuff like this kind of brings Paladin in line with the other classes that are out, right?
I suppose.
There's not really artisan tools. It didn't seem like they changed armor training. We want to talk about this stuff down here, the new rules that have changed. I meant for this to be just about the new classes and subclasses, but there's not a lot down here. There's more down here than I thought. Maybe we'll leave this to the people. The dying condition. So it's not just incapacity. You can also be dying.
Yeah, I think that that's already it was in there. I think we talked about that before. I could be wrong.
When a player character drops 0 hit points, that character has the dying condition, which replaces the following rules in the 2014 Player's Handbook, page 197, quote, falling unconscious, quote, death saving throws, and, quote, stabilizing a creature. While dying, you experience the following effects. 0 hit points. You have 0 hit points. If you regain any hit points while dying, this condition ends on you. A+, good. Knocked out, you have the unconscious condition. Death saving throws at the start of each of your turns. You must make a death saving throw. Special saving, any tied in ability score, blah, blah, blah. 10 or higher, okay. Rolling a 1 out of 20. If you roll a 1 and the d20 counts 2, 20, you regain a 1. Okay. I don't know why this was even changed.
They're organizing some things, I guess.
Yeah, they're replacing some other stuff. You don't fall unconscious. Death saving throws and stabilizing a creature are now all smushed into one condition, and that is dying. That's just an efficiency thing. Okay, I thought there would be something more interesting in that. All right,
it's like we got to change it because it's got to be new.
We got to change it up, dude. We're gonna smush. I don't mind them smushing like 5 separate paragraphs into one condition. I'm fine with that kind of stuff. That's simplification done well. But anyways.
Yeah, there was something that I can't remember what I took offense to, but I don't remember what it was or took exception to. Maybe it was just because I was upset that like
you're upset at how crap Druid was. I completely understand where you're coming from.
Man,
there's something about this restoring touch. I think it was that like because normally like it lists all these conditions that you can take off of a creature when you use restoring touch and lay on hands.
You were feeling as though that this one D&D playtest was not restoring your faith in one D&D, right? Is that what you were going to say?
Well, it's just the conditions you can take off. It was something else. I don't know what it was.
Yeah, doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
This was a wet noodle of an update. Like it is what it is. There's some smushing.
It was like a bummer.
Condensing. It was a bummer.
The smite spells could be okay and be used as sort of almost like very specific flavor things, but if you have to prepare spells and you don't know what you're going to fight, then taking the assortment of smite spells for anything that might happen feels like it's not going to happen. So
I came into this with much vigor. I'm leaving it ready to go to sleep because of how lame it was.
Yeah, Druid's big disappointment. I don't like the changes to smite spells.
But I'd like to see what the community says about the Druid changes.
To be fair, this is the first one where it's been kind of like, this is all kind of lame. The other ones have been pretty good.
The other ones weren't too bad. Yeah.
Yeah, the other ones were all like, why are they making this backwards compatible if you're only going to choose the stuff that's better?
Yeah.
That's what they were like, we got to go in the other direction.
We got to hit them with some good ones so that we can hit them with this huge disappointment coming up. They knew it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I wish they could find some sort of medium with the smite spells because I like the ways some of those extra things work, but
I
don't feel it's necessary to take it away from stacking with
Yeah, it is what it is. We'll see how much of it sticks around. This feels very first. They were like, we need to change a lot, and let's do it with these and see if everyone freaks out again, dude.
Yeah, just let paladins do their damage,
and let
don't
druids
don't
be
limit it,
let druids be something other than a support class because they can do
And-
multiple things right now.
and definitely don't make druids have a static stat block to instead of picking an animal.
Instead of picking
stat
an
block,
animal,
just let
yep,
them do
super
it.
lame.
Yeah.
Let them do it. Yep, I'm in. Fill out that. We got to go fill out the form and say, man, this really sucks.
We gotta fill out our forms.
I'm gonna go to submit when it says submit your review. I'm just gonna upload this podcast to it.
Do you have any comments? I do. They're
I
here.
do. They're here.
This link.
Listen to this. Send it out to everyone. It's amazing. Anyways, I think we're good. I think that's the end of this one.
Unearthed Arcana, Druid and Paladin.
Really, yeah.
Complete.
The tone of his voice is the review for this whole thing that just happened.
Meh.
Unearthed Arcana, Druid and
Big
Paladin.
ol'
We got
meh.
it, boys. All right, we'll be back next time, hopefully with a little more energy, a little more excitement.
What are we doing next time?
I'll let you know. It's a mystery. It's always a mystery. We're recording on a different day. I'm feeling a little more tired than usual when we normally record. But we'll figure it out. We got a whole week.
Yep.
Anyways, thanks for listening. We will see you in the next one, whatever it may be, whatever the topic may be.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.